Take a quick look at this video clip from this nationalist, Christian nationalist guy, Vincent James. Then we will talk.
We are the Christian Taliban. This is the era of Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism is on the rise and people are thirsty for it. They are hungry for this. And we are the Christian Taliban. And we will not stop until The Handmaid's Tale is a reality. And even worse than that, to be honest. Yes, we do have to start rolling back. There was this article from The Atlantic where it's like, well, Alito is on a mission to roll back the rights of women, to roll back the past 100 years of rights that were given to women. Yes, that is what we're doing. And it's only going to get worse for you from here.
Now, did you see that? You see what I mean? Now, let me read something to you, and then I'm going to get into it. Let me read something to you here from my computer so we can get into it. Because just hold the thought with this guy with this crazy talk. And we're going to get right into it. Now, this is coming from the Right Wing Watch website, and I keep up with some of their stuff and to get an idea of some of these crazy nationalists and evangelicals. And this is something that was written the other day, part of an article. And it says here that the evangelicals traded their supposed principles in 2016 for the possibility of this moment. They gave up their claim to a moral high ground and got 3 Supreme Court justices in return. Instead of spreading the gospel of Jesus, they were more willing to use their political power to terrorize everyone who didn't share their values. So congratulations, I guess. They made a deal with the devil. The devil won, and preachers will be patting themselves on the back this weekend for the role in this process. So this was after the Roe versus Wade stuff. This came from them writing this. But the point I wanted you to see there is that basically, the evangelicals, this movement, they've been flirting with the devil for a long time. Instead of trying to share the gospel and do it the right way, they rather do it in their own way, in a corrupt way. They don't care who bears the message, who's the person that they put out there and the person that they support, how corrupt and how immoral they are. But they because they want their agenda in place, they're willing to do it at all costs. And it went into another part of the article talking about is more so we're now in the part of a Sharia style law, which is Christian nationalism. They want it across the board their way, just like the Taliban. And as you heard from this guy, Vincent James, they're not going to stop. Pandora's box is open. You know, as we know that, thank God for you. We want to save babies and we want to do that and stuff. But their agenda is much, much more. And what I got before I go further, I had to put the notes down again because I had to jot some more stuff down because as it comes to me, I don't want to forget what I was thinking about as I prepared this message. And I have on here that you remember when the Muslims wanted to build a mosque after 9/11. I believe they wanted to build a mosque near where the towers were, something like that. And there was an uproar from these Christians, the evangelicals and all of that. And there was a major uproar. But now you see the hypocrisy. You see what's going on because they wanted all their particular way with their radical agendas. But yet they forget that I thought America, what was supposed to be the land of the free and the freedom of religion, freedom of everybody to do the things that what happened to all of that? You see, they don't care. They done threw that out the window because they've been chomping at the bit for many years. People that James Dobson's and Tony Perkins, the Family Research, all of these people, all the way back to, I can't even think of his name, the founder of Liberty University, all of them, they've been trying, Jerry Falwell, Sr., they've been trying this stuff for years, and this now is in place. They got the person they wanted in 2016 that they can use to get their agenda the way they want it. They made the deal with the devil. And now the devil has opened the box, the Pandora box. Because now what? The Supreme Court is just tossing everything the way these Supreme Justices, they're just more so this radical. You heard you heard that Clarence Thomas is talking about basically doing away with conception, birth control, basically. What's the purpose of that? I understand the babies, but what is the purpose of doing away with birth control for people that want to make sure that they don't have a baby if they're not ready for it and all of that stuff? And on top of it, there's other uses for contraceptives, birth control and stuff. You see where they're going? They are going down a really dark road. This is that. And just like they've been saying about Clarence Thomas, he don't want to talk about, interracial marriage was illegal all the way up in the 60s, and that Supreme Court law that made it across the land legal for him. If it wasn't for that, his little tail couldn't be married because he's married to a Caucasian woman. But he don't want to talk about overturning that and leave it to the states, because guess what? Some of these southern states would not like that. They still don't like it. And a lot of places don't like it. And I'm sure they would turn that back too. They want to turn everything back. We're walking backwards now in a lot of this stuff because these Christian nationalists, they're trying to get it the way they want it. They're dangerous. And you've been playing, I've been saying it. Many of you, we've been following me. We've been talking about it. Playing with the devil. Just, how he's doing things. How he's operating. This is a tactic right here. He got them. He's getting people in all the places. People that are in the power throughout the nation. And they're trying to, basically, this is no longer going to be an America that you once were hoping for or just wondering what it was, looking forward to. It is anything. We are taking on it's become China style, theocracy. It's just become everything that's not what it should be. And I have on here, as that article I read to you, where it talks about, instead of these evangelicals supposed to be sharing the love and message of Christ and do it the right way, man. I remember, before I give you the point, I remember when I first got saved, I still was smoking marijuana and playing around acting stupid. And I was dating this girl that she was just a bad influence. I know that she was there, sent by the devil. Now that I know that this tripped me up and to get me out the doors of the church, because I had just got saved, and somehow I linked up with this woman she loved to smoke weed. She loved to try to fight me. She was just crazy. She was a crazy girl. But her brother was this big time drug dealer in town. And I remember I was scared because he was a big old guy, 300 or something pounds. And he had a key to her apartment. And one day he comes in. And we're sitting there, me and her is high and everything. Oh, you're the guy I heard about. You're the guy that's supposed to be possibly a minister in training and this, that, and that, and all of this stuff. I heard things about you. But he said, so you're a Christian, right? And I said, yeah. He said, well, if you're going to do it right. And you want to talk about embarrassed. I feel it was like that Southwest commercials, want to get away. I wanted to get away. I was so embarrassed for that. But that was my wake-up call. Because the last thing I wanted to do was be a bad witness to those that were lost. And that was part of my growth process. So I straightened up eventually and got away from her and went on to, as to grow. And that's sometimes you got to straighten up and get away from certain people and certain things. You don't want to be a distraction or a stumbling block for somebody that is lost, because you want God to be able to use you. And I have on here these evangelicals where they supposed to be pushing the message of love and Christ. And if they would educate people, if you would educate a lot of these people about, why it's important to abstain from sex, not bashing with the Bible, but, there's other benefits of that. Great benefits. I wish that I was saved and would have known, like, wow, this remain abstinent and be a virgin and be married to your spouse, and both of you never have been intimate, and you just learn. I mean, you have, because once you give that part of you, it changes things in a lot of ways for people, in a whole lot of ways. And to stay pure is such a blessing. And if the church would teach that more, and if these evangelicals would just teach the love of Christ and teach that when you make mistakes, that we're not going to throw you under the bus and all of this stuff, if they would just do that and get away from this craziness where they're trying to ram stuff down your throat and say, you take it whether you like it or not. And I have on here, you can't make someone love you or want to be with you. You see, I don't care how much they try to put this stuff in place, these evangelicals, and they're trying to make it Taliban style America, where they force the Christian agenda down people's throat. You can't make people love Jesus like that. You can't make, the thing is, you can't, one thing is, you could try to force someone. Unfortunately, there's a lot of women and people that lose their lives, husband as well, because they don't want to, or boyfriend, girlfriend don't want to be with somebody. You can't make someone they don't want to be with you. They don't want to be with you. Don't lose your dignity. Don't lose your integrity, your pride. Don't lose these things, your self-worth, because somebody doesn't want to be with you. And you see, this is what's happening. These nationalists, these so-called Christian nationalists, they think that by forcing and doing what they want to do now and going down the list of all the other crazy stuff they're going to try to put in place, they think that that's going to make people want to love Jesus. No, it's not. It's going to turn people away, and it's going to make it harder for you and I to evangelize to them, because they're going to have so much animosity and bitterness towards Christians, because these folks, as I say, they don't represent true Christians. Many of them are sent by the devil himself to cause this type of confusion, to cause this type of division. It's sent by the devil himself. These people, many of them, they're not of God. They just have that hovering over like I say, they waving the flag and trying to carry this banner as they're Christian. And a lot of them, they're not. They just have a whole different agenda. And I have on here, what did I have on here? Yeah, they think, as I close, they think that they're doing good, but they're doing damage. Damage throughout the world. And if you didn't get a chance to listen to the video where I talked about killer Christians, that's what I was talking about. Talking about spiritual, it wasn't physical killing. Because they're running around, the nationalists, they're talking about the abortion thing and the babies. But all of these Christian nationalists, a whole lot of them, they're going around spiritually killing people, pushing people away from the gospel, pushing people away from anything that has to do with the message of Christ. And people don't want nothing to do with it. Thanks to them. Thank you, Christian nationalists. But you know what? We're going to stay on you. On this channel, I'm going to call you out. And a lot of these YouTubers and these people, a lot of them, they're Christian nationalists. A whole lot of them. A lot of ones I've talked about, and there's many more. If they're not they're not your normal Bible-believing Christian, loving kind, that Christian. These people are on a whole nother. If you don't believe me, go to Elijah's streams. Go to some of these channels and look at some of these people. The Amanda Graces, the Hank Kuhnemans I talked about, Robin Bullocks. All of these people, Greg Locke, these are Christian nationalist people. There's many, many more. And there's even young ones. Some of the channels, and I'm not going to go through and list all the names. Some of you may know. They're out there. Their agenda is totally different from what Christ has laid out for us. And we'll continue to call it out on this channel, talk about issues the church went away from, expose Satan and his devices, punch him right in between them chops, because he needs a few punches. He needs an uppercut, right, left hook. He needs it all. We need to back this devil, get this devil on the run, and get him to flee, because he is on a rampage right now. And souls are being snatched up. Thanks to these people that act like they represent us. Well, you don't represent God's church. You're not a true representative of God's church. And we'll continue to call it out. If you're new, consider subscribing, hit like, coming along for the journey. My name is Maurice Braxton. Evangelism for God is the channel. So until the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.